So Southern Belle is owned and run by Talbot and his father Franz. They have 3 hectares of feijoas which are not undercover, and then 3,000 meters squared of covered crop, 1,500 meters squared per plastic twin skin greenhouse. So he doesn't have any thermal screens, and he uses waste oil as his main fuel source, and he has an air-to-air blower boiler system. So in 2018, his father Franz went to Amsterdam to one of the greenhouse expos that they have there, and he came across these dehumidifiers that he saw people were using in Amsterdam. So eventually that led them to getting funding through the Eco Technology Demonstration Fund, and eventually got them installed. So a couple pictures. So this is the Southern Belle hot air boiler. The boiler's the one on the left. So the waste oil comes in, fires, heats up the air, and then it just gets blown out into the greenhouse. And then what is on the right, you can see it kind of says dry gear here, is the dehumidifier, and this is one of their twin skin greenhouses. So we'll go next slide. So this is the unit that they've got installed at Southern Belle. So the air gets sucked in through the grates. They take the water out. The water actually gets condensed and then recycled back into the rest of their application. So they get to reclaim that water because it's clean enough for them to use. And then the air gets blown out the top and circulated around through the greenhouse. So go next. So about the dehumidifiers. One dehumidifier was installed in each 1,500 meter greenhouse. The DG12 standard unit was chosen to be installed into Southern Belle. It condenses up to 45 litres of water per hour. It'll circulate the air at a rate of 22,000 metres cubed per hour. Each one uses about 10 kilowatt of electricity, and each one at its peak can run up to 15 hours a day. So they do have a considerable amount of electricity required, but 10 kilowatt, not too bad. They're plug and play units. You only need a 3-phase power supply. I think they're about 50 hertz. And then you don't need to automate them. Southern Belle have automated them into their system because it makes it easier for them, but they are plug and play units which you can just turn on and off as you believe you need. So, and again, the condensate collected from the dehumidifiers is clean enough for them to reuse back into the system. Next, please. The benefits that they observed at Southern Belle. So each dry gear unit uses 10 kilowatts of electricity, but during that condensing process, they actually put out another 25 kilowatts of heat. So not only are they getting the humidity benefits, they're also getting more energy savings benefits from them putting out that waste heat. There's a huge reduction in fungal infections. Talbot constantly told me that they basically went from losing a decent amount of their, or decent amount, I think he said 5 to 10%, and now it's basically zero. They have no fungal infection of their capsicums. He said they got about 2 plants maybe in the past, and that's pretty much it. 25% reduction in waste oil usage, so a quarter of their energy bill saved from these dehumidifiers just because of the lack of needing to vent, and the other benefits like 15% increase in production because they have actually got a better ability to retain their CO2, which is produced at night. So because they don't have to vent quite as much in the mornings or at nighttime, they get that better production. So the economics behind them. So each unit was about $50,000. So each unit was, so both the units together were 100 grand. The installation of water tanks, pumps, and other little things increased the price to around 120,000. ECA funded 40% through the Tech Demonstration Fund and ended up costing them about $72,000 out of pocket. The electricity costs are reasonably significant. As I said before, they run for about 15 hours and they use 10 kilowatt. Return on investment without subsidies, according to Talbot, was 4 to 5 years, even when factoring in, and this is not including the Tech Demonstration Fund and including the operational costs as well. So 4 to 5 years all up, just because of the things stated before. So. Comments from Talbot. So he was surprised that the benefit was better in the winter, even though, he thought it would be better in the winter, but surprisingly got more during the spring and autumn. This is because during winter, he loses that humidity from condensation against the cold twin screen more than he would in the spring and autumn. The most challenging part of the dehumidifiers, he said, was connecting them to his auto-grow system. So there still does need to be a little bit of vent control, and so that was the most challenging part, was making sure they were running automatically and that they didn't have to come and play with them as they needed to. So they're running automatically, the vents will open when they need, so that was just the real challenge. And then he said that the dry gear technicians were always available on remote connection, and he's only used it once and it worked fine. So these guys went through dry gear. There are people now in New Zealand who are making dehumidifiers. I've known one supplier who have started making a range of dehumidifiers as well. I think that's me. Yeah, so.
Where's some bell back?
Mata. Matter. Questions?
Would anyone think dehumidification is applicable for them? I understand obviously not for primary plants, but yeah, potentially, yeah. Have you investigated dehumidification in the past?
Oh. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
And the numbers just multiply up if you're like a relatively small area. Would you be talking about 10 units where 10 times larger?
No, I think there are larger units on the dry gear website, but for those larger ones you do have to get multiple units for one large greenhouse.